Really pleased to welcome the director and producer of the great film we're going to show you, Hush, Mr. Mark Tonderai and Zoe Stewart.
Hi, great, thanks. I haven't got a head to put out, but I can take my wanger out if you want. It's all over there, so yeah. I won't take my knob out, but what was great about that was just the kind of, I haven't seen it yet, but what was great about it was just sort of joy, the kind of idea that this dream come true, which I think is just brilliant. And in the film, in Hush, the bloke puts up posters in toilets. I used to do that job for 4 years. Here I am here, presenting my film to you, and I just think it's brilliant. So I really want to thank you all for coming. I really do. I really, it's raining outside and everything, so you could be taking cover from the rain, but I'm hoping not. And it really is for us, it's just fantastic to be here. Our friends are here, and it's just great. So thank you all for coming. And I hope you enjoy the film. And if you don't enjoy the film, just stick around. We've got electric currents going through the chairs. But I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot.
So, we're here at FrightFest, the all-day and all-night event at the ICA, and at the moment, the movie Hush is playing. We're here with the director, Mark Tonderai.
Hello.
Tell us a bit about the film.
It's more sort of thriller horror than it is horror thriller. It's about a couple who are sort of the relationship is in its last sort of dying breaths, and they're on the M1, and they almost get into an accident, and a truck goes past, and the back of the truck comes down, and in the back of the truck is a naked woman, and then they try and find out who she is and what happens, and it all goes downhill from then. And it's a really, it gets really very scary from that point on, and it's awful. And I am not, I hasten to add, in a relationship with a woman like that. I've never seen a naked woman in the back of the truck. Of course, I would love to, but that's never happened. But I was trying to get films off the ground for ages, and I always laugh. I couldn't get any of my films off the ground. But as soon as I put a naked woman in a truck, bingo.
You have the money. And you've got 2 other films possibly coming out as well in the future, haven't you? Two other horror projects.
Yeah, and it's all very, very exciting. It's kind of a bit sort of, if I'm honest, I sort of pinch myself all the time, because this is kind of what I wanted to do since that age, And I'm a real big fan of the genre, because I think a lot of people don't take the genre seriously, don't respect it outside. And they think it's kind of disposable, and I think a lot of kind of basic human questions about who we are can be handled in this method. I mean, Hush is about self-interest versus social responsibility. That's what it's about, And I think a lot of really good horror does that. It holds a mirror up to us and asks us really hard questions. Like The Mist and Dawn of the Dead, whatever these films are. They all do that, I think it's a tremendous kind of thing, and I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for showing the film.
No problem. Thank you so much, Mark.
There's a couple of gruesome scenes, but overall the film isn't that visceral, which I think really works in its favour. Did you feel under pressure to put more gore in it?
No, it's funny because it's really interesting because if you go out now to market and try and sell a horror film, no one's buying it. Right? Who's going, oh, the market's tapped out, blah blah blah, which is wrong, right? There'll always be the need. People always want to be scared, right? But it seemed very much to me that there was the kind of gore, the torture porn, horror. It can't really play. People have seen a lot of that sort of stuff. The sequence in the house, for example, is really massively influenced from De Palma's sisters. Even the music, if you go and watch that film again, you see that. It really is, and for me that seems to be the way to go. Less is more. So you've got the driver, you don't see his face. For me that's what they did in Jewel really well. And I just thought to myself, well, let's let the audience. I think audiences are really, really sophisticated. People can tell the spine of the story. And I think for me it was all about sort of saying, well, let's give it back to them. And if I'm honest, my finances wanted me to cut more, like the nail sequence. They were like, we don't think that's, get rid of that. Blah, blah. And I was going, look. I'm not joking, 15-year-old kids are going to love that. And I have played it, this is nerve-wracking, but I played it in front of 15-year-old kids, and that's even more nerve-wracking, because they just talk and talk and talk. And so, no, it was for me, it was all about allowing the I think the film works because it's a relationship between the audience and the film. So it's all about, we're trying to put ideas into your head about which way to go. So, for example, when you go to the old people's house, I want you to be thinking, they're bad, oh no, they're good, oh no, they're bad. And all the time you kind of oscillate between the two. And you don't quite know, and that's the relationship that I was trying to have with you as the viewer the whole way through, which is why I think the fifth reel works, because up until the fifth reel, there's only 5 reels in the film, and the fifth reel is the squash. But up until that point, the audience is kind of one step ahead, and then at the end, they think they're one step ahead, and of course they're not. And then you have the double loop back, you see. And that was what I was trying to do all the time, get into a relationship with them. So when they pull up at the petrol station and he takes the phone, you want to be thinking, oh God, don't give them the phone because you're going to get taken. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of relationship, all the time thinking about what are you doing now at this moment and how you're watching the film. That's pretty much how we did it.
You mentioned the poem before. Because there wasn't a lot of dialogue, there was obviously a lot of visual information that had to be given.
Yeah.
What were your main influences for that?
You know, Hitchcock is a big one for me. You know, Lifeboat is like just one of the best films ever. But I just wanted to go back to the idea. You know, Hitchcock reckons that when the talkies came in, that was it. Cinema was ruined. You know, and I needed to sell a film. Right? I've been doing this for ages, and I couldn't get film to the ground, so I needed to sell a film. So I was very much like, let's keep it contained. I thought it was being very clever. Car, motorway. And I wrote Exterior Night. What an idiot. Exterior Night. And I wrote Exterior Night Rain. You see, I'm becoming an even bigger idiot here. And I wrote Exterior Night Rain Dogs. You know, all of these things. It's ridiculous. But for me, it was very much about, there's only 13 pages of dialogue in the whole film, you know. It was all about trying to strip it as much as I could so that it would play. I didn't, when I did that, I was thinking, that's the sort of films that I like, that just show, and it's about, the music and the sound effects and the acting, blah, blah, blah. And what's happened because of that is that it's sold really well internationally. Pathé here, they've done a brilliant job for us, I must say, thank you, Pathé, you've done a great job. But it's sold because it just translates the story, It's just a guy trying to find his wife, or trying to find his girlfriend, and so that was where that came from. Was that a good one, conversation? Thank you all for coming over, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.